I am called the woman with the issue of blood, and this is my story. The dust of Capernaum is not just dirt. It is a weight that coats the tongue and settles into the raw, weeping cracks of my skin. For 12 years I have lived in the space between the living and the dead. My life is measured not in sunrises or seasons, but in the relentless, slow drain of my own vitality. It is a quiet, rhythmic theft. My blood, my strength, my very essence has been leaking into the earth with every step I take, leaving a trail of exhaustion that no amount of rest can touch. I remember the beginning of it, though it feels like a fever dream now. 12 years is a lifetime. I was a person then, a wife, a neighbor, someone who could touch and be touched. Now I am a ghost in a crowd. The law says I am unclean, and the law is a cold wall that stands between me and everything I love. If I touch a piece of furniture, it must be scrubbed. If I touch a person, they are cursed. I am a walking contagion, a shadow that must be avoided. My home is a memory, replaced by the corner of a room where I hide, listening to the muffled sounds of life continuing without me. I have spent every coin I ever possessed. I have sat before healers whose breath smelled of wine and whose hands were heavy with greed. They promised me life, and in return, they took the copper, the silver, and the last shred of my hope. They burned me with hot irons and fed me bitter roots that made my stomach churn, but the blood did not stop. It only slowed, then started again, a taunting rhythm that reminded me I was still dying, just more slowly and more broke than before. The ache is not just in my belly, where the pain resides like a jagged stone. The ache is in the hollow of my chest. It is the feeling of being entirely, utterly alone while standing in the middle of a bustling market. It is the shame of pulling my robes tight, day after day, hoping the stained fabric does not betray me to the world. I am tired of being afraid of my own body. I am tired of being afraid of the light. Then, the rumors started. A man from Nazareth. They say he speaks of a kingdom that does not care for the boundaries of the priests. They say he touches the untouchable and does not break, does not wither, does not walk away in disgust. At first, I pushed the thought away. Hope is more dangerous than despair. Hope is what makes the final disappointment break your bones. But the rumors turned into a roar. He was coming to Capernaum. I shouldn't have gone. I knew the rules. If I was discovered, if the crowd realized who was brushing against them, they would tear me apart. I am a walking violation of everything they hold sacred. Yet, there was a gravity in my chest, a pulling sensation that I could not resist. It was not a thought. It was a desperate primal drive. If he is who they say he is, even his shadow might hold the power to stop the leak. The day was humid, the air heavy with the scent of dried fish and donkey dung. The crowd was a living, breathing beast. People were pressed shoulder to shoulder, a wall of flesh and movement. I kept my head down, my hood pulled low. My hands were shaking, not from the weakness of my body, but from the terrifying magnitude of what I was about to do. I was a thief of miracles. I was going to steal a moment of his power without asking, because I knew if I asked, he would have to acknowledge that I was unclean. He would have to turn away. I pushed forward. My feet were swollen, my heart drumming a frantic, uneven rhythm against my ribs. I saw him. He was taller than I imagined, moving with a calm, deliberate pace that stood out against the frantic energy of the crowd. He was surrounded by men, talking, gesturing, his presence like a stone dropped in a pond, creating ripples of movement wherever he went. This is the hinge, the moment where my life splits in two. I am 3 feet away. My breath is coming in shallow, ragged gasps. The pain in my side is sharp, a reminder of the blood I am losing, the life I am losing, the woman I used to be. I look at his robe. It is dusty, frayed at the hem, woven by human hands. It looks so fragile. I think, if I just touch the fringe, it will be enough. I don't need to look him in the eye. I don't need him to see me. I just need to be near the power. The internal friction is a physical weight. My mind screams at me to turn back, to return to my corner, to die in the shadows where it is safe. To reach out is to invite public shaming, to be exposed as the unclean thing I am. I feel the sweat chilling on my skin. My fingers are trembling so hard I fear I will drop to the ground before I reach him. I am terrified of the contact. I am terrified that nothing will happen. If I touch him, and the blood continues, then there is truly no hope left. That is the fear that almost keeps me still. I step forward. I do not think. I reach. My fingers brush the coarse, rough texture of the fabric. It is just wool. It is just thread. But the moment my skin makes contact, something shifts. It is not a gentle change. It is a violent, sudden jolt, like being struck by lightning. It starts in my fingertips and surges through my veins, a roar of heat that obliterates the cold, hollow ache in my chest. For 12 years I have been empty, a vessel with a hole in the bottom. In that single second I am filled to overflowing. I can feel it in my womb, the warmth, the life, the stopping of the slow death. I pull my hand back as if burned. I am shaking, trembling so violently that I have to grab onto a stone pillar to keep from collapsing. I want to run, to hide, to disappear back into the crowd before anyone realizes what I have done. I am terrified. The exhilaration is so intense it hurts. I am no longer bleeding. I am no longer the woman who died 12 years ago. I am alive. But then, the movement stops. He stands still. The crowd grinds to a halt. I feel the air shift. He turns. His eyes scan the mass of people, piercing, calm, searching. My heart stops. I have stolen it. And now he knows. I try to melt away, to burrow into the people around me. But there is nowhere to go. I am exposed. I am standing in the open, the weight of 1,000 eyes suddenly pressing down on me. I fall to the ground, my knees hit the hard, unforgiving stone of the street. I am sobbing, not from sadness, but from a total, terrifying release. I am shaking so hard that I cannot speak. I wait for the rebuke. I wait for him to tell me how unclean I am, how dare I touch him, how I have defiled him with my sickness. I wait for the crowd to push me out, to finish what the years of pain started. He steps toward me. The crowd parts, a silent witness to the collision of our worlds. He doesn't pull back. He doesn't look at me with disgust. He stops, right in front of me, and he looks at me. Not just at my face, but into the hollows of my chest where the shame lived. He sees the 12 years of lost life. He sees the coins thrown away, the cold nights, the years of hiding. He sees the woman I was and the woman I have become in the span of a heartbeat. He doesn't call me unclean. He calls me something else. He speaks, and his voice is like cool water on a parched tongue. He calls me daughter. The word breaks me. It is a word I haven't heard for a decade, a word that carries the weight of belonging. I am not a contagion. I am not a ghost. I am a person, known and seen and restored. He tells me that my faith has saved me, that I should go in peace, that I am finally, truly whole. I don't remember leaving. I don't remember the walk back to the place I once called home. I remember only the feeling of his eyes on me, a warmth that settled into my skin and stayed there. The sun is setting, casting long golden shadows across the stone floor of my room. I sit and look at my hands. They aren't shaking anymore. They are steady. I am clean. I am whole. And for the first time in 12 years, I am not afraid of tomorrow. I am not waiting for the end. I am just breathing. And the breath is sweet, and the air is clear, and I am alive. The scripture reference is Mark 5:25 to 30, 33 to 34.